Alright folks, this is probably going to be a super disjointed video. This right here is an Oldsmobile 400 out of a 69 442. I have it all torn down. Pretty much. I got to knock the cam bearings out yet, but pistons over here. Oil pump there. It's getting a new one of them anyway. And the heater just turned on. So there's all that noise. Anyway, crankshaft is down here. Gotta clean this thing all up, hone it out, new bearings, new rings, paint it up, and put it in my car. Alrighty folks, I'm at my shop at home now, working on the heads for the 400, and I got all the springs and keepers and stuff off of the one head. Some of these valves have issues. Some of them kind of are somewhat free. That one kind of goes out. That one there is stuck solid. So I got to get creative with that because that needs to come out of there. That one's pretty good. That one's pretty good. That one's a little stiff. This one over here was pretty bad too, but this one here takes the cake. That one's pretty bad. Alright, after quite a bit of convincing and beating on it with a brass hammer, I got it out. This is the valve that came out of there. I think I'm going to get some new valves. That's the seat for it. You might say it needs a valve job, but I think I'll clean it up and it'll be alright. Probably actually could use a good sandblasting is what it could use. I'm not usually one for sandblasting cylinder heads, but this one, well, I don't know, just might need it. That's pretty bad, but I think it's savable. I've seen worse stuff that ran. So yeah, these other valves are not as rusty. They're really thin though. Not sure. Super thin valves. The exhausts I think are alright, but if I'm putting intakes in, I may as well just get all new valves for it and do it right the first time. So yeah, I don't know. I've got to do a little thinking and decide what I want to do. Probably hit some of these on a wire wheel and see how they clean up and decide from there. Alright, had all these things on the wire wheel, and 3 of them cleaned up alright. Yeah, this is the one that was really stuck. I'm not going to put that back in. The rest of these I think will be just fine. I'll get a new one for this and then check out this head then and see what I need for that. And obviously these need to be reground. You can see, let's see if I can zoom in there. You can see where that's pretty pitted there from the valve seat. So grind these all, clean the head up. Probably should clean this up before I bother doing anything with those seats. I'm just going to gum up my stones, and I don't really want that. So there you go. I guess that spark plug's not in all the way. Anyway, I'll get after that. Alright, I'll do the rest just like that. Alright, this is head number 2. It's pretty nasty. I got all the valves ground that I'm going to grind. That's the only one that's really bad. The rest of them are all okay. I'm going to reuse them. The exhaust valves, I don't know if you can see, but I cut a little bit of a second angle up there. When I ground them, they had kind of a sharp edge up on top, and so I cut that angle to knock that off and improve flow a little bit. The intakes are 30 degrees, so there's not near as much of an edge. I'm not going to worry about them. They'll be fine. That one didn't quite clean up all the way right there, but it should be fine. It's just a stain, I think. So, there we go. Got to order one intake valve. These heads, I think I'm going to glass bead blast or walnut shell blast or something like that. I'll probably pressure wash them to get the worst of the grease off, and then blast them to clean them up, and then they should be good. Well, once I clean them up a little bit, then I'll recut all these seats, because I don't want to cut those now, as I mentioned earlier, because I'll just gunk up my stones and it'll just be a mess. So clean the heads up and then do the seats. In the meantime, I got valve springs to clean up. Those I'll put in the ultrasonic cleaner, and got plenty of other stuff to do too. And for those of you who can count, yes, I didn't have all the valves here. There were 4 more hiding behind this head here on my bench. There's all of them. And the nasty one right there. There you go. That's probably about it for now. Alright, folks. I got some more stuff done here. I got this engine mostly cleaned up. I went and got some dollar store oven cleaner, which supposedly works good, and apparently whoever said that's right, because it worked pretty good. Still got to clean up. Just have that stuck on there so I don't lose it. My oil filter adapter. Run that through my ultrasonic cleaner probably. There's my distributor I've rebuilt. The heads need a lot of work. I got them power washed, but there's the air compressor. Got those power washed, but I think I want to sandblast them or glass bead or walnut shell or something like that, because these intake ports are pretty nasty looking. I was out at the junkyard today. Found myself a 1966 Oldsmobile Dynamic 88, I think. And got alternator brackets here, which I was super tickled about. Got power steering brackets here, will fit right on this engine. The car that they came out of had a 425 in it, which is basically identical to this on the outside. So super excited about that. I wasn't really expecting to find those at the junkyard, but there they were. So yeah, got some sandblasting and some cleaning up to do. Basically, I need to bring the intake home. That's still up at work. Bring that home, clean that up. I need to bring my bearings and rings home. Those are still up there as well. Forgot to get those when I brought this engine home. I have a cam bearing tool coming. I have a cylinder hone coming. I was using the three stone spring style, and it was kind of chattering there. I don't like that too good, so got one of the ones with all the little balls on it. I'll hone it out with that, see how that does, and then try and polish the crank a little bit. Oh, got myself a thermostat housing too. I was missing that. This one's in kind of rough shape, but I think it'll clean up okay. Yeah, it's coming together. Trying to think what else. Got gaskets here. I got a ton of parts sitting around for this thing. So, yeah, there's an update for now. Still need to get a new valve to replace that one that's super pitted and nasty looking. But for now, that's all I got. Alright, got one of these guys here that kind of hone. There's what the cylinders looked like before. There's a freshly honed cylinder. I like that pretty good. I think that ought to do the trick pretty nice. Those old ones are pretty glazed over. That should break in my new rings pretty decent. I like it. I'll do all the rest of them. Alright, got all these honed out. Got a couple little lines in this one yet. That line I can just feel. I may hone this one a little more yet. I don't know. The rest of these have a little bit of lines, but not really anything to worry about. I got pretty nice cross hatching in there now. I like that pretty good. I think the next step is to clean that crank up down there underneath this piece of pig mat. Keep it clean. Clean that crank up. Flip this thing upside down. Bearings, crank. Put new rings. Well, I'll clean the pistons up. They're just kind of down here on the floor. Clean those up good. New rings. All new bearings. Actually, no, I need to put the cam bearings in before I set the crank. Cam bearings. New cam bearings in and set the crank in. Set the pistons in with new rings. And stab a cam into it. Set the timing. And then it's a matter of clean up the heads, put them back together, and bolt it all together. There we go. Alright, I realized I forgot to film a ending for that video. So, here you go. There's the carts going in. It's currently a V6 car. 225 V6. A little baby motor. I'll put this motor in something. It's a good motor yet. Transmission's good too. I just want a bigger one.